Hello everyone and welcome back to Valheim Build Like a Noob Part 2. In this part we will finish the starter base that we started on in Part 1. And we will start by finishing this end here, the triangle that we tried to do something really fancy with last time and failed miserably. So I think we instead are going to do a little roof hanging over this and then do some nice things with the open triangle, so it's not just an open triangle. And here I am trying different roofs. You can do a lot of fun things with these I don't know what to call them, angled roofs maybe. And yeah, I usually do when I'm out exploring, I do these small almost round huts, and I can show you that in a later video. But I think I'm satisfied with just doing it like this for now. And here I am seeing if it's if we need to take it down a bit. That roof doesn't seem to be aligned with the roof, does it? No. So should we do it again? Yeah, I think we will. We'll just let it be. Anyway, so I will be doing a pattern here, not as intricate as the ones that we talked about in the last episode. That roof will drive me crazy, so I will take it down and reattach it so that it isn't can't see the sky between the two roof parts. This can be a bit tricky because I have put down the end beams, but it is doable. Yeah, I think. Oh, there you go. Once you have put the first one down, it's easier to put the second one down because you can make it attached to the first one instead of the already finished roof. So here's hoping it will go a bit smoother. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So we will do some fancy beam work here just to make sure, for one, that the roof is structured so it won't fall down, and two, that it looks a bit more fancy. So we will add both form and function into one. Here I am trying to get the cross beams to be equal on both sides so it doesn't look funny. And as I said last time, don't be scared to try things out, because you can always get your invested resources back. Because when you destroy things, you get most of the things back. So just try things, see if you like them. If not, destroy them and do something other, and just keep going. Because that is what I do most of the time. So I just have a look at what I think would look nice, and I try it, and sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't, so I need to come up with something else. Yeah, and I really do like this sort of and I'm thinking that we can hang banners from the extended roof when we get to the banners. I think we can do one type of banner already, so maybe we will be doing that one and hanging it, and then we can because I think I want one type of banner hanging in the middle, and then on each side something else, so it looks a bit more fancy. I'm having a hard time getting this piece to stick where I want it to stick, and it's really frustrating. So I decided to, instead of doing it from the bottom up, I will do it from the top down instead, and it will be somewhat easier, I hope. Yeah, and that looks okay. I haven't finished the entire roof end there, I see. So let's do that. Something like this. Yeah, that looks great. Good. Then we will do the other side. Hopefully we will get them to match up. It's not always you get them to match up, because sometimes one side is harder to do than the other. But I'm hoping at least we will get it symmetrical. So one thing that we won't be finishing in this video is the little hidey hole that we will be making for our workbench and the upgrades. Because I don't like the look when it's all cluttered up, and the further you go in the game, the more upgrades you will do for the workbench, and it will end up being quite a lot. So if you can hide at least most of them away, I think that's a good improvement. I have seen some different ways of doing this. I have seen people that have created like an attic, so they have chosen to go up instead of down. I've seen people do hidey holes like me, like a root cellar for all the improvements. I have also seen people do like shelving to place them on around the workbench, which look pretty cool as well. So there are a couple of things that you can do if you don't want to display all of the upgrades. But we won't be able to do that because we don't have a pickaxe yet, so we can't dig out the ground to create the cellar. So that will have to wait into a later video. But there are so many other things we can do. So I will just add some trimming to the roof, because I think it looks a bit more finished that way. I just need to fix my tools. Then eat some food. I always forget to eat food when I'm building things, because when I build things, it's not that necessary. It is, especially if you're working in high altitudes, because you will fall down, you will hurt yourself, so having hit points is really good. And also, you can be attacked, especially if you, like me, don't have base protection yet. So any type of creature can essentially just walk up and start hitting on me. Well, hitting me with weapons, at least. And then if you don't have any food, you will have extremely low hit points and stamina. So not only will you take a huge amount of damage, you will have a hard time fighting back. And it takes a while to eat your food if you're unprepared for an attack. So yeah, just don't do it like I do, please. And now we are further decorating this window. I decided to leave most of it open with just some beams going through it, because as we figured out in the last episode, my original plan of doing some weaving pattern here didn't work out, and I really couldn't figure out what would work, so I am happy to do it like this instead. It goes a lot easier if you find the right angle for what you're trying to do, because you have one that is more slanted than the other, and sometimes one will work and the other won't. So yeah, if one doesn't look good, then try the other, it will be better. So let's have a look. That looks really good actually, I'm quite happy with that. And from the side, yeah, looks good. And when we are now looking from the sides, we can see that we really do need to continue with this X pattern all around, because you can see the foundation on this side, and that's not. It doesn't look nice at all. So that will be something we need to do. But first, let's put in some gates, and I want a double gate because I want to be able to take my cart and go inside here. So when I have been out gathering resources and have a cart full of things to unload, and I will have a wall inside here with chests, is the plan at least. So I want to be able to take my cart inside so I can unload it, so it will be close to the chests and I don't have to run around as much. These sides will cause a little bit of a problem because I can't use a wall, because then it will go out into the opening of the door. So I will just use these instead to cover up some of the hole at least. And it's a bit tricky to make it look even, but we will give it a try anyway. And it's time to do a little run to get some woods, and now I'm back and we can try again. So let's see if we can make it fit this time. I will leave the little triangles on each side there. That's the windows. So some light will come in at least, and I can see what's going on outside. And as you may notice, so let's test this out. As you can see, it is working. You can go inside. We have a big opening, so we can go inside with the cart with no issue. Everything is looking quite good actually. So we need to close this side of the building. We need to add some storage, and eventually we will need to take down that little shed outside as well. In this corner we will make it a bit easier. This is on this wall that I am building on now. I am planning of having my workbench, so we can't make it as low as we did the other wall, because the workbench is much more well, it doesn't like when the wind is blowing on it, so not to risk the workbench not working if we have a storm, we will do a full wall, not a half wall. So the window will be seated a bit higher up than along the other wall. So as you see, on the other side we have done a half a wall. Now we will do a full one. That doesn't mean we won't add a window. We will. It will be just a bit higher up. So the whole of the backside of the workbench will be covered by this wall. And then we will add some trimmings. Actually, it's quite interesting that in the new release that they have mentioned for Valheim, that is called Hearth and Home, I think. We will actually have some window trimmings. That will be interesting. And then we will have some columns, just like the other side. I will just need something to stand on. Let's see here. So this should be in the center. Yeah, that's the center. And yeah, that looks good. And as you can see, we have a lot of yellow and orange roof pieces. We will need to work with that and make it so that they are, well, at least most of them are green and maybe some oranges, but no red ones, because that is causing me stress issues. So we will put in this here, and the same will be done on this side. Yeah, starting to look like a window, and this, and like that. Looking good. I'm trying to get it at least somewhat equal to the other window, so there will be some symmetry. Yeah. So let's start to reinforce the roof. We will have some cross beams going along the roof, and then we will also add another beam going the other direction, so that it will be a lot sturdier than it is now. Just trying to figure out how to do this best, and I think that we will just do these little holders, and the beam will rest upon those. Well, it will be the other way around when everything is done, but for the building part, because now the beam will be straight, it is easy to place, and we will have something that we can follow along. And we know that on the other side of the fireplace we will get the equal height, because yeah, it's a lot easier doing it this way. It will be more straight and of even height, which is amazing. I hate when things get wonky. It can drive me crazy, and sometimes when I really struggle with something being wonky, I always think, well, leave it like that. If it's wonky, it's wonky. I can't do anything about it. But when I do, I obsess about that piece, and I notice it every time I look in that direction. So it just ends up with me removing that piece, and if I can't get it the way I want it, I will leave it out or find another solution. But still, every time I end up in that position, I still chooses to use the wonky piece, and it takes me like 2 or 3 days before I realize I can't live with that, so I have to change it. So I'm just adding pieces so that the roof will end up looking all nice and sturdy. Don't forget sturdy. So yeah, we're moving along both sides, and then we will, once we've added this beam, we will add cross beams going the other direction. And that way I'm hoping we will have a mostly green and maybe some orange roof. The fireplace has now been burning for a couple of days, and we have seen no signs of smoke damage to me as a character, and the smoke hasn't gone out, so we know that it's venting in a good way, and that is a really good sign. So here I'm trying to figure out how to do this in the best way, and I realized that this isn't looking that good. So I think we will just do one going across like this instead. It seems to be enough to turn orange tiles into green. So that is good. If we want to, then we can decorate the cross beams with fancy skulls hanging down and things like that. It can add a bit of a, well, I guess a homey feeling. So pieces like this that are really good for the structural part of the base can also be used as something that is decorative. So you can combine use and design, which is really nice. And just having a look to see if everything looks even. It doesn't, it's a bit of a struggle. But you can see that there are a lot less of the orange. We have some yellow, but mostly green. Then we will move the bed. It was a temporary placement over there, but I think the more permanent placement will be in this side of the room, because yeah, it looks a bit better. And here we will have our workbench and our smithy. So the hidey hole should be somewhere around here. I think we will put the entrance to it in the farthest corner over there. Along here I think we will build the chests. And yeah, that is the planning of this room, in my brain at least. And then we will have some room for adding chairs and things like that to get some more resting points. And yeah, so we will start by adding the bed in this corner, and then we will set the spawn point if we die, because the stone circle is a bit away and it's just tedious to run all the way, and I don't have enough wood. So I will just do a quick little wood run, and then I will, well, first I will break this down because we really don't need it. That is smart thinking, because we will now move the workbench inside, so this one will be unnecessarily. So we can just use this wood and take it with us, and then we can set it up inside here instead. So yeah, I need to be aware that in that corner we will have the entrance to our hidey hole, so we can't put the workbench too close to that one. And then we'll do it like this, so this will be our hidey hole. But as I said, no pickaxe as of yet, so we will come back to that one. But now at least we know where we should put it. So yeah, that will be a bit of a dig out. And then we will have a smithy over here. Things looking great. Everything is green, nice. And we still have our little ventilation hole. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm fine with it, really. I don't see it that often anyway. So this is how it ends up looking. It is quite a nice space, actually. This is, of course, a small starter base, so we will expand in the future, but we will do it step by step. We will add in these, so we can cook some meat. Add in 2 of them, so it will go a bit faster. Yeah, adding some meat to be grilled. And the next thing we need to do, I think, is to create our storage space, because we are going to go raiding soon, and there are a lot of items that we are carrying on us that is really not necessary for us to carry, and we will need more space in our inventory for important things. So that will be the next big thing. I'm thinking of building some type of framework around the chests, so it looks like they are standing in compartments. That can be a bit tricky, and I'm a bit, I don't know. You can also do shelving. I've seen some YouTubers use shelving instead, and that looks also really cool. Maybe we'll do that in another build. But first of all, we will do the outside, because otherwise I will totally forget about it. So we need to put these X's down all around, and then we will add the beams, just like we did on the front. And this will have the added bonus of also hiding our little hidey hole with the workbench improvements. So that will be a plus. And then I will just add the beams all along the way. For some reason this won't just get straight the way I want it, and it is driving me crazy. Let's try it from the other end. And the thing is, this big boulder here is obscuring my view from this angle, and I can't remove it because I have no pickaxe yet, so I need to work around it, but it's really irritating. And as you see, I have left it one higher than all the other, and that is one of those things that I talked about before that I think is okay when I build it. Who cares? And then I'm just irritated to no end about it once I play the game for some times. So I tried to do it correctly, but it isn't working the way I want it to work, so I mean, this is one of the most frustrating things about building that you will ever encounter, is when the pieces won't lock into place where you expect them or where you want them to do. And yeah, it's really frustrating. And you try to change the angle, you try to use every trick in your tool belt, but nothing will work. And so at one point here I decided that this will have to do, and I can tell you because I am recording my voiceover sometime after this, the actual build, so I have been playing this for some time, and that beam, by gosh, it irritated me, so I have removed it. Because it's better to have no beam than to have that beam that is wonky, and I see it. I mean, every time I run past that stone, I can't help but see it, and I mean, I don't think anyone else would have seen it if I haven't pointed it out, but man, I see it, so I actually did go back and just remove it. But here we are doing this side, and it goes a bit smoother on this side at least, which is nice, not as frustrating. This type of work may be somewhat tedious because it's not innovating, because you have already done the innovation, and now you get to repeat it over and over and over again. But it is really good, and it is necessary, because otherwise you will end up with a house that just doesn't look good if you only have decorated one side, because you can't be bothered to do the other sides. And as I said in the last part, it is also useful because if you get attacked and if the enemy tries to destroy your house, they first have to go through the decorating parts, especially like this when they are actually covering the whole wall. So before they can start chopping at your walls, they will go through these wooden axes. So it buys you a bit of an extra time. How much depends, of course, on what type of creature is attacking you. If it's a troll and you're this early in the game, I mean, it will buy you seconds, but nothing less, nothing more. But if it's just some, if it's like the forest shakes or something like that, well, the forest move, I think it is, where it's actually forest animals or the greylings, then you will actually have bought some more time. So you can run inside, get better equipment or better food maybe, if you caught unaware. And as you see, I actually did catch some boars to tame. They're almost tamed. So soon I can get some piggies, boar babies, and have a steady supply of meat. I find it comes in handy. I mean, I still kill every boar that I see almost in the game, but it's a nice thing to know that you have a couple at home in case you need them. And I haven't gone any fancy. I have just caught regular ones with no stars, and I know I'm supposed to catch the ones with stars, but at this time it wasn't possible because there are no star boars around me. So I'm happy with the no stars for now. It's just so that I can get some meat and some leather scratches without going on these long hunts, because at the moment I'm more into building than into gathering. So this game is starting to look a lot similar to the first one that I did, where I'm just so far behind in my progression because I end up building things that is far more complex than they need to be, but they're so much fun to build, so I just end up building things and then I don't progress, and everyone is like heaps of miles ahead of me for everything. But anyway, we are now done. We can look all around and see that that looks pretty nice. Yeah, it gives the house something extra, I think, at least, and I'm really happy with it. So now we can start to look at how we will do these things, these crates or the storage area. And to be honest, now that I have played this house for a bit, I do wish that I had left a bit more space between the storage chests and the fireplace. Because as it is now, it's a bit cramped. It works fine. I mean, I can get into everything and it's not an issue. But it would have been better with some more space. Maybe I should have done less chests and done them the other way around. But I mean, it's easy to be wise when everything is done. So I put down 2 chests so I can measure where I need to put the framework in. And I like having a framework because one, I think it looks a bit more worked. I mean, it doesn't just look like you stacked some chests in a corner and yeah. It looks like part of the interior design. But also it is nice to be able to put up some signs later on when we get more fine wood. So that you can actually identify what is in the chest without having to remember them. It's not that hard at this stage, because at this stage you will mostly keep track of what is where. But when you get into the higher levels, anyone that has ever played any type of survival game knows that marking your chest is invaluable in saving time, because otherwise you will just run around trying to find where you put things, which is so annoying. I have learned the hard way. So yeah, I need to do a wood run, and we will be right back to continue this. Let's see. Yeah, need to fix my tools before I go for a wood run. And good idea to empty out what I have, because I can carry a lot more wood that way. And as you can see, I well overfilled 1 chest, so yeah, I'm back. And I've been thinking a bit, and I don't know if this is the way to go, but I've started building like this, so we will carry on and see where it ends up. I don't know if I like it, but let's keep going for a bit. This end piece won't place where I want it to place because the chests are too far out. So should I move the chest or should I do another framing? Yeah, we will move the framing a bit. That sounds better to me, actually. So we will just continue with this, trying to space out them evenly, and the cross beam will help with the fact that that I get the beams at the right position, so they won't go too far in or too far out. Try to use help whenever you can, like measurements and things like that. It makes things a lot easier, especially if like in this game the snapping tool isn't the best and you can't really rely on it. creating measurement sticks and things like that is really helpful to make things even. If you want them to be even, or if you care about it being even. I don't know, maybe you don't. Not everyone is as fiddly with this as I am, so it's up to you. And now we will be seeing if we can place this correctly. And once again we are having some trouble with it, but that seems to be okay, and we will just continue with that all along. And then we can add it up to the roof so that it looks totally built in. And here you can see what I'm talking about with the crampedness of the space, because I only left one floor tile between the chests and the fireplace, which means that in order to get to the lower chests in the first row, I need to stand extremely close to them, and it's hard to get a good camera angle when you do it like that. And it's also natural that that is the first you want to do, because you're coming from this angle where the door is, and you just turn the corner like that, and there they are, but you can't really get a good grip on them, so you have to run through to this where I'm standing now, then trying to angle the camera from that direction. It's totally doable, and I don't really have an issue with it that I can't do it, but it's more of an annoyance that I have to do it than anything else. So yeah, now that we have gotten this far, we can start by placing down the chests. We will use these small wooden floor to help along, but then I realized that it was better to just have them leaning on the front beam instead. So then you will get this step illusion where the chests on the lower part will be a bit more pushed back, and the ones on the higher level will be more extended towards you. I like the effect as long as they are not extended too much so you can't see the ones below. But if you do it in a good balance, I think it looks really cool. It creates a bit more of a texture, or I don't know what you call it when you build houses. But yeah, it gives it an extra dimension. Maybe you should say that. That sounds really fancy. An extra dimension. Ooh, yeah. Let's go with that. And as you can see, I am working through the night actually. But as we are inside and as we have a fire going, it's not that big of a deal. But we do need more wood. But luckily we have it, so we don't need to do another run in the nighttime when it rains. So we will be able to finish this. Yeah, looks good. And there we have it. Almost, at least. We will need to add that one in again that we took out. Like the angles like this. And then we have a full wall of chests. We can put away things finally. We can also organize them. I try to organize my chests. This is something that I learned a long time ago when I was playing Minecraft. That if you don't have organized chests, your life will be a living nightmare. So I do organize my chests at least as good as I can. And I think it's really interesting because no one organizes their chests in the same way. So the way I organize my chest may make no sense to anyone else, but to me it makes perfect sense. And the same with some of the YouTubers that I have been watching with Valheim. When I look how they organize their chest, I think that's just crazy talk. Who would ever organize it like that? But to them, perfectly fine, and I'm not the one to judge if that is how you want to sort things. That is fine by me, as long as I don't have to do it. And then we will just have a quick sleep. I really like these dream texts that pop up when you are sleeping. So, how do you organize your chest? Do you even organize them, or are you one of those people that just throw everything away in the closest empty chest and then pray that you will find what you are looking for later on? Leave a comment and let me know. So here I am trying to place down some deer skin rug. My gosh, that was a hard one. It is to cover the hidey hole, and this is a really nice way to create secret passageways and things like that, because when you don't walk on the deer skin rugs. Oh, I shouldn't be using that word. I realize that. You will just fall right through it. So if it's an empty space below, you will fall into the empty space. So it's a nice thing to do to create traps and to create secret hidden rooms and things like that. And we will use it to mask our hidey hole. So I am able to create a banner because, like I showed you last time, I actually did get some fine wood by knocking the fine wood down with the other trees. So I am able to place a banner here, and I think I will do it because I need to see how it looks. If my plan of placing more banners will be working or not. So this is the first one. It will go in the middle, and then we can add some others on the side, and I really like that. I mean, it's like this drape, so the sun doesn't get in your eyes when you're working inside. Not that there's too much. Oh, and I always do this. I try to break down the letter, and then I break down everything in the background instead. So let's just add that X back and hope it will go smoothly. Of course it won't. Why did I break that? Oh yeah, there we go. So, this is looking really good, guys. This is a really good first little starter base. You have what you need. You have this wide entrance. You have a bed where you can sleep. You have a fireplace where you can cook your food. You have lots and lots of storage. We will add a stool just to get the extra resting bonus. We will set it as a nighttime table, and we will even add a torch maybe. It can be good to have some type of extra lighting with all these chests. So yeah, I mean, you have the workbench over here, you have the hidey hole that is partly covered, it's a really good start, and I'm really happy with it. I think this will be an excellent base. And I think it will be an excellent thing to build on in the future to add more functionality as we progress through the game. And yeah, what do you think? Do you think it's too tiny? Would you have made it bigger? Would you have made it smaller? What is the most important thing to you when you are building a base? And you can see we have nice views all around. I mean, if you stand on the workbench, you actually see. I mean, that looks like a picture, and this is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I can see my boars, I can see the nice forest in the background, the ocean. Really lovely. So I think we will end on this amazing view. And I want to thank you so much for watching and to have followed along these rather lengthy parts of me building like a noob. But thank you so much for having the patience with me. That is where I'm going to leave you. But I would like you to give this video a thumbs up. And I would love to hear your comments, so please leave a comment in the comment section below. And also subscribe to my channel. That makes a huge difference to me. If you like my content, please do it. And I'm open to suggestions what to build next, and I will see where we go. I will do some progressing in the game without making videos about it, so next time we will see how we will get on with the next part of the build. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!